What's up, UFC fanatics? Let's tap into the most recent news regarding fighter Francis Ngannou. First up, we'll give a little background about him and what his potential upcoming opponent Tyson Fury has to say. Next, we'll learn that Ngannou is losing hope that a fight with Jon Jones will happen. Afterwards, we hear what Ciryl Gane has to say about Francis. Then we hear why Kamaru Usman felt sorry for Francis. And lastly, we learn how Ngannou beat Miocic in order to win the heavyweight title. To kick things off, we'll hear what Tyson Fury had to say about Francis. Tyson had made it known that he had interest in going up against Ngannou. Fury was so serious about fighting him in any way, he even claimed he'd wear 4-ounce gloves as opposed to the 10-ounce standard gloves. Fury made a comment saying, "Who would like to see me fight this beast with the boxing rule gloves?" He took to Twitter and even tagged Ngannou and Dana White. Francis responded back saying he would be willing to fight Fury as long as they used UFC rules as well as UFC standard gloves. Realistically, given the circumstances, it's unlikely a matchup would occur anytime in the near future. Ngannou is projected to defend his title come January 22nd when he faces off against Ciryl Gane in California. In addition, Fury's set to go up against Dylan White. The details in terms of the potential fight are still being discussed. Not to mention, at the end of Francis's contract, he could choose to do a number of things. He could sign with another promoter, or he could stay with the UFC depending on a clause. What do you think he will do when the time comes? Either way, we await to see what's to come, and most of all, what the outcome of his next fight will be. The Cameroonian native, who also goes by the name of the Predator, is a fearful competitor whose record remains with a high of 16 wins and merely 3 losses. Next up, we learn why Francis is moving on from the idea that a fight will happen with Jon Jones. Ngannou brushed off the idea that a fight with Jones will happen anytime in the near future. Francis was supposed to make his debut defense of his title with Jones earlier on, but due to contract negotiations, the fight never happened. Jones was opposed to certain terms in the contract, so after speculation, the UFC moved onward and aimed to match Francis with the winner of a fight between Ciryl Gane and Derek Lewis. Gane became the victor, so he'll go up against Francis for the heavyweight title at UFC 270. Although Gane will be Francis's next fight, the speculation hasn't stopped, and there's still hope a fight between them could happen in the future. Jon Jones is even willing to prepare for the fight. He weighs in at 255 pounds as of now, but is willing to gain weight. He says whoever wins the Ciryl versus Francis fight, he'll get his weight up to 270 by the time a chance for his debut occurs. The weight limit for a heavyweight contender is 265 pounds, so Jones will do what he has to in order to be considered. John's one of the best lightweight champions in the history of the league, where he weighed in at 205 pounds. So will he rise to the occasion and go up against the winner at UFC 270? There's been speculation for a fight with Jones and Ngannou. Many are hoping the winner of the coming fight is Francis, so we can see them versus each other once and for all. Even if for whatever reason Francis isn't victorious, if he stays with the UFC, a fight with Jones is still possible. Now here's what Ciryl Gane has to say about Francis Ngannou. Yes, it's been the fight we've all been waiting for, and the anticipation has only been building. The countdown continues as the days until the fight keep dwindling. In the midst of the upcoming fight, a world of drama ensues with Ngannou's ex-coach, Fernando Lopez. You'd expect the drama to stem from Francis's opponent Ciryl, but to our surprise, Gane has been quite cordial with his upcoming opponent. For those who don't know, Gane and Ngannou used to be training partners, so it's no wonder there's no hard feelings. In an interview that came out recently, Gane gave compliments to Francis and commended him for his strength. He said, "You know, we're coming into this fight with our strengths. We're not here to try to counter his strengths. We don't try to be stronger than him. Till today, I've never seen anyone as powerful, as athletic, with such knockout power. I've never seen it. In terms of strength, he might be the most impressive guy in UFC's history. I'm not going to try to be stronger than him in 3 months. It wouldn't make sense." It's safe to say Ciryl knows very well what Francis is capable of doing and doesn't mean to make it seem like he's any better than Francis. He's going to go into this fight with his own skills and thinks it could be enough to take down the champ. Although Francis has his own strengths, Ciryl has a few of his own. He's pretty well known for his technical work in the ring, and the worthy kickboxer has been compared to some of the top contenders due to his combos and range of fighting techniques. This makes him a worthy opponent for Francis and could give Gane the upper hand because Francis usually resorts to his punches and the power they pack. Most heavyweight contenders fall back on a heavy hit, but not Gane. Next, we learn why Kamaru Usman felt sorry for Francis. At first, the UFC announced a fight would take place between Derek Lewis and Ciryl Gane. The fight would be held for interim gold, even though Francis won the belt a few weeks before. The reason for this was that Francis didn't seem ready to fight in the time allotted by the UFC. This past August, Gane defeated Lewis at UFC 265 and claimed the interim title. Usman, who is close with Francis as well as his training partner, gave his 2 cents on the matter before the showdown at UFC 268. Kamaru said, "It's a tough situation to be in. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. We all wish we could sit in those rooms with the powers that be and understand what the fighter or promotion is going through or dealing with. It's been kept pretty hush for a while, whatever he's going. We know it hasn't been easy on Ngannou, but as of late December, Francis's manager hasn't heard from the UFC in nearly 6 months. His manager gave some insight on just how bad it's gotten. As we said before, his contract is nearing an end, and it's unclear if anyone will choose to pick him up. After his fight with Cyril, his contract ends, and his people haven't heard any news about a future promotion deal on the table. His manager stated, "From the beginning, we've always and still do remain open to negotiating with the UFC. The UFC is known for being one of the best promoters, but when it comes to promoting the terms, they have to be in favor of Francis." His manager had said, "We've had a lot of back and forth with the UFC, but to be honest with you, I haven't heard back from the UFC since, I want to say June." Prior to recently, Ngannou's rep had been in contact with UFC executive Hunter Campbell, but in June, Dana White took over, and afterwards they had a conversation that apparently went nowhere. Lastly, let's touch on how Francis pulled the win over Miocic. It was a sweet moment for Francis when he got his revenge over Stipe Miocic when he emerged victorious 3 years after their title fight back in 2018. Ngannou has since risen to the top and got the chance to rematch. He rose to the top by scoring 4 consecutive knockouts, and his rematch with Miocic was finally in sight. This time around, Ngannou came prepared and had a different approach for taking down his opponent. He landed a powerful kick to the leg and made more of his right-hand punches connect during round 1. Miocic tried to counter with a kick, but Francis blocked it. Not even a whole minute into round 2, Ngannou went after Stipe with a jab, but Miocic was caught after he lunged in. But Francis had his next move already in motion and took him down with a left hook. This ended the fight, leaving Francis victorious. This sweet win had been a long time coming. Stipe responded saying, "You can't win them all." He went on to post a long comment on Instagram about how he was disappointed in the outcome of the fight, but admitted it's all a part of the sport. It was refreshing to see the positive sportsmanship between him and Francis. He went on to say how he's sorry that he let his fans down. He said the loss may hurt for a bit, but that's part of the game. So this now means Miocic is 1-1 with Ngannou. We aim to see them both return for a future fight, but only time will tell. And there you have it, UFC fans. We went over all the latest news. Thanks for watching.